How are you seeing your funds, grantees, implementing the 60s strategies?
So I'll speak about our work on Spark Justice, which is most closely targeted at the decarceration strategy, although as we have seen, all of our grantees are working more or less across the full spectrum of the 60 strategies for very intentional reasons that I can talk about. So Spark Justice focuses on the front end on pretrial detention. We are funding groups that are working to end cash bail, empty out jails, advance transformative alternatives, and build power in the communities most impacted by incarceration. We are very intentional about funding BIPOC-led groups, and particularly Black-led organizing groups around the country. I would say the majority of grantees in the Spark Justice Fund are led by Black women or co-led by Black women. And we have a very intentional focus on supporting groups who are led by people who have been formerly incarcerated or otherwise directly impacted by the criminal legal system. I just wanted to provide, it seems from the poll that a lot of you are familiar with decarceration. It gets a lot of attention in the criminal justice field more broadly, but I wanted to really provide more texture to what it really means to support grassroots organizing strategies to decarcerate. The strategies that our grantees are using across the country, there's a lot of overlap. Not every group is using every single one of these strategies, but we're seeing some really rich and exciting strategies and tactics. There's a whole cluster of strategies that are really focused on building the power of communities to really directly influence the court process for to reach multiple goals. So we see the use of strategic bailouts, which many of you I'm sure have heard about, that were originally seeded by Song and the National Bailout Collective, and now across the country, every Mother's Day, there's local groups doing Black Mamas bailouts, there's Juneteenth bailouts, there's August bailouts, and the bailouts have really elevated the issue of the injustices of bail in the national discourse. And the grassroots groups, I don't believe, get the credit that they deserve for how they have actually pushed that issue and put it on the map.